This is Suzanne Hopgood. I'm talking with my dad, George McAvoy, the author of My Father, a Silent Films Pioneer, as well as two other books. And we're talking about his brother, Richard McAvoy, Dick McAvoy, when they were growing up. So we had left off in the last discussion about when your brother, when your family effectively started moving to Lewiston. And you had a relative that was in the hotel business. Can you tell me something about the relative?
Well, the relative was Jim Atchison, and he was a distant relative. I'm never sure just what, but anyway, he was operating hotels in Maine, and somehow or other, we got in touch with him, and he had Henry come up to, my oldest brother Henry, come up to Maine, and he hired him and put him to work. And Henry was working up there, and I don't know what Dick was doing, but I was working at Saks Fifth Avenue at the time. And so we came time to take a vacation, so I got a vacation from Saks Fifth Avenue, and we went up to Maine. And when I got up to Maine, why, Dick was already there. He'd somehow gotten in touch with Atchison and was hired working in the hotel business. So my mother and I went to visit them up in Maine, and when I got up there, why, Atchison offered me a job, and I took it, and I sent a telegram back to Saks Fifth Avenue, tell them to use my vacation time as a notice. And so this is how the three of us, Henry ran the Elmwood Hotel in Waterville, Dick ran the Rockland Hotel in Rockland, and of course I had the Littleton Hotel. This is the same name, Littleton Hotel in Lewiston, Maine. And
that's pretty ironic.
It is ironic.
Well, I think James Atchison, I think, was your grandmother's brother. She was an Atchison.
Yes.
Right? She was Elizabeth Atchison and married Tom Gilpin. So yeah. She was Elizabeth Atchison Gilpin.
Yeah.
So I think that was her brother, but I don't know that either.
I'm not sure on that. I don't know.
Okay. So he may have been your great uncle.
Yeah.
So when did Dick enjoy running the hotel? Was that
Dick didn't like anything that resembled school. So managing a hotel, you had to have your percentages and your things, and that he was not fond of that. So
now, when did he meet Aunt Joe?
There was when Atchison had the Augusta house in Augusta, Maine, and Joe was Atchison's secretary. And how they met or where they met, I have to assume that's probably at the Augusta house.
Okay, so then they got married.
Mm-hmm.
And did they move away right away?
No. They, for a while there, they moved into Lewiston. They were a block away from my mother's house. And
was this before the war or after?
That was before the war.
Before the war, okay.
Yeah.
Because all three of you went in the service.
Yes, Henry was the first to go. In fact, Henry was in the second selective draft. And in that second selective draft, he served his full time, and just as he was finishing his full time, the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, and so he had a full year of training before the war. Wow. And then was immediately drafted.
Okay, well, I think that's a good place for us to stop, and then we can do the next, start the next segment.